This is Athena Jezik, and I thought today I would work a little bit on the Corrina's abdomen. There's different issues that happen with the abdomen. Sometimes people are experiencing liver pain or liver inflammation. Sometimes it's more the pancreas, and then sometimes it's just the bowels are constipated, particularly the large intestines. The small intestines with the mesentery is all right in the middle here. But it's a good thing to keep moving. You know, we're not as active as we used to be a long time ago in the world. At least a lot of us are much more sedentary, and so that will quiet things down. And the gut particularly is where I'll be focusing the most, because the gut health is absolutely vital. If you want to have health, you need to have a healthy gut. And so I'm going to just explain a little bit, and some of this is also going to be explained more and taught at a deeper level in the course. So we start out, there's a quadrant system for the fluids. The fluids are going to move to the direction of these quadrants. So I'm not really going to do much lymph work, and then there's a sternochelli right here that will collect a lot of the lymph. And that also too needs to be emptied when you're working on the abdomen. So I like to start out and just feel the liver and just see what that condition is. It should be soft. Sometimes you'll feel some hardness in the liver. Sometimes you'll feel a few bumps in the liver. The liver is a really important organ. It is got about 500 functions that it does, a lot of filtering, a lot of other things that it does. It's really quite an important organ. It's one that can be rejuvenated easily. And so I'm doing a little bit of making sure there's no fluids holding it around that. And just doing a little bit of lymph work. And there's a kind of a movement that you have to do with your hands in order to get the fluid to all come up from that quadrant area. And then to feel the liver, if you're feeling the liver with the visceral manipulation thing, you'll feel the motility, and you want it to have a good motility. That's a movement that it does in three different dimensions. Whereas the cranial fluid, the cranial rhythm is just two directions. It's a flexion extension. This one is 3 dimensions. And then the pancreas, you can also feel the motility of the pancreas. I don't like to work deeply into the pancreas. And so that kind of always feels like a fish with a tail. And then the intestinal tract, the small intestines are here, the stomach is here. So you want to kind of go around the stomach and feel what's happening with the stomach here. And you can feel different things in different organs. The food comes into there, and then the fundus, the big part, is over here. So you want to work it that way a little bit and just check. And then it has a valve that it'll be entering into the small intestines. And the small intestines are in the middle here, and so that is working that back and forth. Is how I do it anyway. There's a mesentery, that's where everything is connected. There's a lot of veins and arteries that come in from the umbilicus, and then it empties into, the small intestines are going to empty into a valve right over here. And this is where the beginning of the large intestine is. So to do the large intestines, you want to start over here where it's going to be evacuated and open that part up. So I'm going to just do a little bit massaging there, where there's, I'm kind of doing a combination of lymph and also some massage work. But you want to, it's kind of like pushing anything. Now, something that happens if people are constipated is what that oftentimes entails is there's a lot of stuff stuck on the wall of this large intestine. And as it keeps getting bigger and bigger, more of it sticks and more of it sticks, then you don't have much of an avenue to be able to evacuate what you need to. They say that it should be probably the size of, at least a quarter, if not a little bit larger. But most people, when they look at the autopsies, they're barely the size of a pencil. So they have all of that crud, stuck in there. So that's something else that is important to realize if you're having gut issues. And there's different ways of cleaning the gut out. And what I like to do is juice fast. I like to go on this 5-day juice fast that I can eat a little bit with it, but I drink 6 juices, different juices in a day. And that also cleans out the small intestines, which is, not reachable through the other methods. And it is important. There's also some other phenomena that happens in this area of the body that causes a lot of illness, and that is they're finding more and more, and there's more talk about it, which some of you may have already heard, but there's a lot of parasitic problem that we have. Just kind of start to do your own research on a lot of that, because it's a lot more than what most people think. They just think it's a little something different, but there's a lot of miles of organs in the intestines. I am using this massage oil by True Hemp Science. It is a perfect viscosity for massage and also contains CBD-rich hemp oil. So this is just a circular massage technique going around in circles around into the rib cage area. And you can work along the ribs here. You're getting the organs that are underneath a little bit, but this I'm working basically here now. I'm just working the muscle that is attaching to the rib. And there's a couple of floating ribs back there. And I like to work within the quadrants simply because I know that's how the fluids are moving, although you don't have to do that when you're doing massage. And you can just work it that way and up this way. And then this is down where the end of it is. So you can vibrate around the large intestine. See if you can stimulate it anything. But there are, like I say, there's a lot going on in the intestine. And if you don't have a fairly healthy gut, you're not going to have a very healthy body either. The gut is kind of like our second brain. And the gut does tie into some things. Sometimes if you're feeling gut pain, it might be coming from your back. It might be coming from something else. But it all will tie in to the back, because the nerves that come out of the vertebrae do wrap around and they stimulate the organs. So that's another thing that you want to think about, that maybe it is something to do with the positioning of some of the vertebrae in your back. Some of it could just be the food that's being consumed. So you have to do a little bit of research on yourself and get different information from people and figure out what it is exactly you need. And there's also different teas and different, food type things that you can do to help clear out the intestine or to soothe it a little bit. But most of the problems that I'm seeing, I think, are primarily inflammation, whether it be in the gut or in the joints or in the neck or wherever. It's just that inflammation is such a epidemic in this country. So we want to think about that too and work with the inflammatory things. And there's a lot of things that people are doing to help with inflammation, very natural things, turmeric and curcumin. I understand that if you take a little hot pepper, black pepper with it, it helps the absorption. So there's a lot to learn about that as well. But the main thing I think is we need to get more back to nature, away from some of these more chemically produced foods. Because oftentimes those foods are really void of nutrients. In fact, almost all the time they're void of nutrients. Okay, and then you can kind of work back and forth, or you're going back and forth. And then I'm going to do another vibration around. Comes up to the corners. A lot of times you might find something kind of in the corner. Now you're with the gut, but you're also going through different organs because the liver is right there. Now I'm coming along where the stomach is. And then I'm going to be feeling a little bit where the pancreas is. And then I'll be coming back down this direction. And work that. And then you can get in the hip line. Go a little deeper into the hip here. And then a little bit deeper into the hip here. All that's attached in there. And then you can just pull it up from the sides. And then there's a nice little technique that's kind of a shock to the system and helps kind of stir it up a little bit, where it's a recoil. So you want to coil that everything in, all those tissues, you're going to coil it up in the opposite direction. And you want to feel it go deep. So you have to tune in and send that energy down the hands into where you're trying to make the coil happen. And you just let it go until it's not going to be twisting anymore. And you want to concentrate, really focus on this one, because you're going several layers in. So you're going to have to feel all of those layers in your hands as you do this. And then when you feel like you're at the end of where the coiling is about to stop, actually twist it quite a bit. You just hold that a little bit longer. And then you remove your hand very quickly and then let it push the other way. And that's a nice technique just to kind of loosen everything up if there's any stickiness between the organs or anything like that. Okay, so there we have it. That's some ideas for you to work on if you have stomach issues. You're feeling nauseous or something like that, I would say probably don't work on it. Although sometimes being nauseous, I will quickly say this, if you make sure that you empty the cisterna chili, which is a lymphatic area. If you empty that, sometimes that will take a little bit of that feeling out of the stomach area, because there's too much fluid there, and do that. And of course you have to drain it as well. Okay, so there we have it. If you like this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up, make a comment on it if you like, and I'll see you next time. If you're interested in learning more advanced massage techniques, please visit the link below to see my course offerings and to join my email newsletter. I want to invite you to explore my course, The Foundations of Subtle Alignment. It is going to take you beyond the work of massage therapy. It will take you into the world of the subtle anatomy. Misalignment of the subtle structures is often the root cause of chronic pain, injuries, and chronically high levels of stress hormones. These techniques offer profound benefit whether you are working on people with complex issues or not. In this course, you will learn about the subtle anatomy and a protocol for assessing and aligning the subtle structures.